Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sand Hills. This is Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams.
And I'm Matt Horsey, the Leader Man's faithful sidekick. Good morning.
Don't forget, of course, we are being heard and seen around the world on the live video stream. That's available at talk973.com. The link there will get you there. If you're on our website, you can also get the audio in the upper right-hand corner of any of our web pages. On the icon that says Listen Live. Tap it once so you're listening that quick on the web. You can watch us on YouTube, put Mornings with the Leader Man into Google search. And if you're on TuneIn or iTunes, other platforms like that, for audio, you can get us by putting WEEB into the search. All right, currently 65 degrees here in the Sand Hills. In just a moment, Congressman Richard Hudson will be calling, and usually there he is. And we say good morning to Congressman Richard Hudson. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
Well, we're getting drier by the day.
Right.
And cooler.
Well, people need to be careful. You know, it looks pretty outside. The sun's shining, but, you know, we're still under a flood warning until tonight.
Well, let's talk about the purpose of the call here, which, of course, is to find out what you've seen so far around our district, and also what relief the federal government is going to put forth.
Well, I tell you, it's a mess out there, and you know, I was in Moore County Sunday. Been down in Cumberland County and seen where the Little River is heading, and you know, we're losing homes and roads washed out. The river's still cresting. Potentially, Cape Fear River, you know, you've probably seen the pictures.
Yeah.
It's about 10 feet higher than it was 2 years ago with Matthew. Actually, David Rouser, congressman east of us, arranged to deliver 16 nurses and medical technicians down to Wilmington on Monday, and we got the Coast Guard to fly them down on a C-130, and so David and I flew down with them. So I got a chance to see. We went all the way down to the coast, flew up and down the beach, and flew back up I-40, and we were able to see some real extensive flooding. Just breaks your heart to see homes flooded up to the roof. Some communities, you know, and we've experienced flooding in our community, you know, in different parts. And I spent yesterday in the sort of the western part of my district. Started where I live in Cabarrus County, talking to folks here. We feel like we've dodged a bullet. Rowan County, we had a levee that the county officials told me about 2 inches of rain more, and they would have had to evacuate a neighborhood there, because that would have been a breach. And so, you know, the further west you go, the less flooding, but you still got incidents, you know, in neighborhoods where, you know, where people have flooding, potentially lost their homes. It's just a devastating storm. But, you know, town of Troy, the mayor there, Roy Maness, said in 60 years he's never seen as much flooding as they got. So it's, you know, here we are 2 years in a row with 500-year floods in a lot of places. But I tell you, the real takeaway I have, though, is the incredible people of North Carolina, the people of Moore County. You know, Brian Phillips, our public safety director, Catherine Graham, our chairman of our county commission, Jamie Bowles, Senator McGinnis, Mayor English up in Robbins, all these leaders working hard on their community. But I also think of the volunteers at the Red Cross shelter I visited, the county employees who have nothing to do with emergency management, but have come in and are working 12-hour shifts just to answer phones to take care of people. I mean, neighbors really are helping neighbors, and that's who we are in this community. That's who we are as North Carolinians.
Well, we're talking with Congressman Richard Hudson, who is, of course, from we're the 8th District, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
For today,
yeah, we keep
I haven't
getting
heard from the court, but right now we're the 8th.
Yeah, I have to check the day of the week it is to find out which district we're in. Yep.
Yes, sir.
But
you're stuck with me till January, no matter what happens.
Let's talk about what the federal government can do for citizens here. I know that I got another update yesterday from the employment insurance. I forget the name of the department. You got so many of them, but basically it was saying that that those whose job was affected by the hurricane, Moore County wasn't in it, but Cumberland County got added to it, could get some relief as far as unemployment insurance goes.
Well,
I don't think it's the unemployment insurance thing. I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry, I don't. But you may not know what I'm trying to talk about. But it was 10 more counties that got added yesterday that were if your job got eliminated, like or your business got flooded out, the government would step in and help you with funds so that you can survive this thing until you can get your business back open or something like that.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll get you some information on that, but two things I'd say on the federal relief side. Number one is our federal, state, and local governments are working very closely together. This is a time where it's really important to put politics aside. We've got a Republican president, Donald Trump, and a Democrat governor, Roy Cooper. And I can tell you, I've been really impressed with both of them. President Trump has made a lot of resources available to us even before the storm hit. We've had thousands of federal employees on the ground, and we've had helicopters, we've had food, we've had bottled water. FEMA's pre-positioned. I've just been really impressed with President Trump and the administration. But I can also say the same thing for Governor Cooper. I think he's shown tremendous leadership. I've been communicating with him directly since Sunday, and we've had several conversations about what's next, and we're still hopefully coming to the end of sort of the rescue phase and the sheltering phase, but now we enter into the recovery and the rebuilding phase, and that's really where state and federal work together, and where organizations like FEMA and like Small Business Administration and HUD and others can provide assistance. And I would just say to folks listening out there, if you got damage to your home or business, if you sustained any kind of impact from disaster, go ahead and register today. I'll give you a website address, and it's really easy to remember. But go to disasterassistance.gov, disasterassistance.gov, and sign up today, because I believe Moore County will be added to the disaster list. It's just the governor is rolling them out very methodically. You can also go to my website, hudson.house.gov, hudson.house.gov, and get information on how to get registered. That website address is on there. But go ahead and register now. That gets you in line once more counties added, and we make sure you can get assistance. The other thing is you can call my office. I'll give you that number as well. It's 910-246-5374. So if you're a veteran, if you own a small business, if you need help with your property, we can help you get to the right agency and the right help that you need. I'm here to serve my constituents. And again, I'm working very closely with our mayors and our county officials and the governor and our federal agencies. And so I work for you, so let me help you. So go to the website. You can send us a message there. You can call the office, or you can go to disasterassistance.gov yourself directly to get registered. But we're here to help, and we're so far I've been very impressed by the way the different levels of government have been working together.
Well, we're talking to Congressman Richard Hudson, our congressman to the U.S. Congress, and by the way, I did find my memo on this thing. It's actually a state program. It's called the Disaster Unemployment Assistance Program, and that's under the Division of Employment Security. So if your job has been wiped out due to the flooding, you can turn to the Division of Unemployment Insurance, and they have a Disaster Unemployment Assistance Program that can probably get you some salary coming in quicker than you would if you were just applying straight for unemployment. That's what's that about. All right, Congressman, any other things we need to know this morning that we haven't asked?
That's the most dangerous question in journalism. That's how you always get in trouble. You do a fine interview, you get to the end, and you ask that question, and that's usually when a politician will put put in their mouths. But no, just in all seriousness, I think the main takeaway for folks is rivers are still cresting in some places. The flood warning in Moore County is in effect till tonight, so please be safe. Even though the sun's shining, if you see a bridge where the water's come up right below the bridge, don't drive over it, don't walk over it until those bridges have been inspected. And if you see low-lying water in the street, don't drive through it. It's just not worth it. And let's just be safe and be smart and patient a little bit longer. And again, reach out if I can be helpful to you, hudson.house.gov. I'm here, and we're working very closely with our local and state officials. We're going to get you the help you need. We're going to get you back on your feet. But it's, this is not a thing that's going to take days and weeks. It's going to take months and years.
Now, speaking of help, do you foresee the House put forth the bill to send additional aid to the area after they assess how bad it is?
I think so. The last conversation I had with the governor direct Monday night, and I said to the governor, look, we're here to help, but I want to see real numbers. We need to really make sure that, we're not looking at projections, but we're looking at what the real situation is, because, we've still got to be good stewards of the taxpayer, and we need to make sure that what we're asking for is money to go directly to help people from this disaster. And we have a fund that has $30 billion in it. It's a disaster relief fund that can be accessed without passing any more taxpayer money.
Okay.
And that money is probably more than enough to cover the damages of this storm that the governor's office predicts could be maybe twice as much as Matthew. But we also are looking at potentially putting more money in the community development block grant program to allow the state to access to help rebuild businesses and homes. So we're looking at two different venues. One we've already funded. The other, we are currently discussing whether or not we need to do some kind of emergency supplemental spending in the next week or so. So we'll do what we need to do, but we also need to be responsible stewards of your money, because the federal government doesn't have any money. We take it all from you.
I think that one, I wouldn't call it a frustration. It's there are a lot of programs out there that are designed to aid people when they need help, but sometimes the people who need the help don't know of the programs, and in the sea of information out there, there's so much of it that it's hard to find that little island that can help you. Do you recommend that if somebody has a situation, they call your office and say, where do I go?
Absolutely. That's why we're there. A lot of the folks that call, I can't directly help, but I can connect them with Jamie Bowles, who can help them, or I can connect them with a county agency, or we will navigate the maze of federal agencies for you. That is, I work for the people of this county and this district, and that's what I do. And I've got some really good folks working for me that are good at this kind of thing. So please call on me. Again, I may not be able to give you the answer you want, and I may need to direct you to someone else who can help you, but we will help you navigate it. That's why we're here. So hudson.house.gov. It's got our office location and phone number, and we do have a lot of information we put up there about disaster assistance, about how you can get help. Of course, if you're in an emergency, call 911. But we're here to help.
Right. Well, that would be a big help, just to have somebody that can weed through the ocean of information or government websites that you go to a website and on a radio station, when I go to the FCC website, it's to find out information about my own station is quite a chore, because they don't make it easily navigable, I guess is the word. I sometimes have to call my engineer to get to the page I need to get to. It's just, they got so much information, and being able to get it there so stupid people can get there, and I throw myself in that category sometimes. you know, it would be helpful to have somebody like your office that can weed through it and say, this is where you need to go, and go to the page, it's this, you know, so forth and so on. So you don't have to go learn their agency in order to get relief.
Absolutely. Well, common sense is the first victim when it comes to Washington, and so I'd just say, you know, I'm not a lawyer, so a lot of times it takes me several times to figure out what somebody's trying to say. And that's really the shame of it. You know, the federal government's gotten so big and doing so many things that has no business doing, that it's just complicated. And some people say Congress did that on purpose, so you got to come to us to help you. That's, you know, I certainly have, will continue to try to streamline and shrink the size of government. But when it comes to certain functions, you know, I think that are appropriate, and particularly times like this with disaster, you know, let us help. And you know, a lot of the recovery is going to fall on the state, but the federal government is going to have a role to play as well. And fortunately, you know, I have to say our state legislators, Jamie Bowles, Senator McInnes, and others, have done a good job. They put a large amount of money, I think hundreds of millions of dollars aside for disaster. But they've also got this rainy day fund that they fought like tooth and nail to create. A lot of the politicians in Raleigh didn't want to save the money; they wanted to spend it. But Jamie Bowles and Tom McInnes and other conservatives put this money aside. So we do have that rainy day fund. They've got the disaster money. You know, the state's been real responsible, and so you know, folks can rest assured that the funds will be there. And we're here to help you through this. And we just got to be patient. We've got to take care of each other.
All right. Well, Congressman, did you have any questions, Matt?
Nope. Thank you.
All right. Well, Congressman, if you have anything else, now's the time. Otherwise, I'll just say thank you for calling in this morning.
Well, it was great to be with you again, Matt. Hope you're doing well. And we'll see you again soon.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for calling.
Be well.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Congressman Richard Hudson of the 8th District, and what he's offering up, and basically it's if you don't know where to start, call his office. They do have a pretty good sized staff there that their job is all day long is to answer questions about your government and to get you from point A to point B. Like, for example, signing up for Social Security, or my house got flooded out and I don't have flood insurance. Is there any assistance for me? And that's what they can direct you to. Or your motorhome's buried in the mud.
Well, maybe not that one.
And you spent $1,000 trying to dig it out, you still can't get it out. Now your tire's flat. So, it's just so much fun. Anyway, just give Congressman Hudson's office a call, or you can email him, they'll call you back.
It is a shame that this Leviathan is so big that it is impossible to navigate.
Yeah. Well, it comes with big company or corporations where government is. So, anyway, if you got any questions, you can call us after the show. Now speaking of the show next hour, John Zumwalt's going to have an extended Zumwalt zone with us here. And I got to, my best friend, Nick, my dog, is going to have some knee surgery, and I have to have him there by 8:30. So some things are more important than this, and he's one of them. So I will take him to the vet. He's had his other knee done before, and handled it well. We've done the blood panels, and they say everything is good to go. So he should pull through this like getting his teeth cleaned. And it's not a relatively complex procedure. And
it's always scary, though.
Yeah, it's always scary. But as the good Lord, I tell the good Lord, I'm going to hold your beer through this one. So he'll look over it. And we'll give you a good report tomorrow about his condition, because he's struggling so hard to walk on that leg, and there's just no structure left that I have to do something. All right, it is is 7:48 past the hour. Let's see. Do a few sound bites this morning. Julie Chen is quitting the talk. She was on there yesterday saying her goodbyes. And
this is the one married to Moonves?
Yeah. Basically, she's leaving because, well, heck, you got $100 million. She doesn't have, her great grandkids won't have to work. Ever. And so she's heading out the door to stay with him so he doesn't keep a closer eye on him so somebody doesn't steal him away with that $100 million. But, here is
consult with an attorney about getting 60% of it.
Yeah. Well, here's Julie's farewell. Of course, I don't have it ready. I forgot to turn the volume up. How many times have I done this in radio? Not enough, obviously.
And remember, it's always the right time to... I'm Julie Chen Moonves. Stand by that statement today, tomorrow, forever.
That was the production version of it, obviously.
I guess.
Here's the unedited version of the see you later speech there.
And remember, it's always the right time to...
Oh, wrong one. My bad. Here we go. I don't want the long version. Here's the short version.
First of all, thank you so much, Julie, for the kind words. I created this show as a place for friends.
Still on the long one, folks. I'll get to it eventually here. Here's the short version. All right.
I have been at the talk since the day it started 9 years ago, and the cast, crew, and staff have become family to me over the years. But right now, I need to spend more time at home with my husband and our young son. So I've decided to leave the talk. I want to thank everyone at the show for the wonderful years together. I will always, always cherish the memories we shared. Most important, I want to thank you, the viewers, for allowing me into your home every day. It was a privilege that I will forever be grateful for. To everyone behind the scenes, I send you my love. I will miss you all very, very much. I love you all, and I know this show and the sisterhood it stands for will live on for many, many, many more years to come. You ladies got this, and I cannot be more proud to call you my friends. I love you.
Okay, and off she goes to spend $100 million. Well, you know these commercials you always hear about debt relief services. Well, here's one with an even simpler plan for you.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Do you owe the IRS thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars? Now you can contact services that will greatly reduce your crushing credit card debt and even negotiate a settlement with the IRS that will virtually free you of your tax obligations. Or you can stop buying so much that you don't need and actually pay off your creditors and the government like other full-grown responsible adults and stop being such a deadbeat. Our plan for eliminating your credit card and tax debt is simple. Stop blowing hundreds of thousands of dollars on products that you don't need, like the new iPhone or 4K Ultra HD big screen TV that you put on your 5 nearly maxed out credit cards. Stop going out to eat at fine restaurants and cook yourself a hamburger and baked beans at home. And stop having so many kids. Seriously, just stop. You freeloading dirtbag.
There you go.
Amen.
Yeah. All right. 7:52. 52 past the hour. Let's see what else. Things we need to know today so we don't sound stupid. Oh, no, let me get this in because we didn't do this yesterday.
Uh-oh.
And it's the measurement of Matt's testosterone for the week.
Oh, yes.
Because we just didn't have time yesterday.
This is such a pointless thing. All you have to do is look at me and know I'm oozing testosterone.
Well, we'll find out how much oozing there is. All right, these are questions for men that women should know the answer to. So here we go. As far as a diamond goes, what shape is a princess cut? Is it square or octangle?
A princess cut?
Yeah.
Let's say square.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hey.
Full point there.
Hey.
In the movie, While You Were Sleeping, what is Lucy's job? Who was played by Sandra Bullock. Was she a collector at the toll booth? Or was she a corporate executive?
Okay, that was a toll booth collector.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hey.
2
Woohoo!
in a row. And what brand, what is the brand Sally Hansen synonymous with? Is it fingernail polish or financial advice?
Sally Hansen?
Yes.
Fingernail polish.
Ding, ding, ding.
Hey,
3 out of 3.
Woohoo!
All right. Let's see how he does. These are questions for women that real men know the answer to.
These ought to be even easier than those.
Let's see if he has the man side of things.
Yes.
In the James Bond movies and books, what's the name of Bond's secretary?
Bond secretary? He doesn't have a secretary, but not Q.
Well, the secretary in the movie.
Moneypenny.
It is Moneypenny. Ding, ding.
Woohoo!
In the game of golf, what type of clubs are numbered 1 through 10?
1 through 10. Wedges.
Now you get multiple choice
All right.
for half a point. Is it irons or wood?
Oh, that's what I meant to say. Irons.
It is irons. All right, finally. How many volts are there in a standard car battery?
In a standard car, 12.
And every guy out there is going, oh, yes, it is a 12 volts. No, I learned this past weekend. It's 12.6 volts.
Oh, come on now.
There are 6 mini batteries in there, and each one's 2.1 volts, so that's 12.6. So there you go. So you got 1.5 points versus 3. I think you've tipped the scales back to the testosterone side. The estrogen side of things, which explains a lot about you. So
That is crap.
when I saw that question, I said, there's no way he'll get it right because I will make sure he does.
Waving your fingers around on that fingernail one, that was kind of cheating, too. Hey, by the way, I've got an IQ question for you. Are you ready? What weighs more, a pound of gold or a pound of feathers?
Well, you're going to... A pound's a pound, so there you go. But
Hit the buzzer.
you're going to say the feathers weigh more because they trap more air and all that.
No, gold weighs more because it's weighed by the Troy system, which has more grams per pound than the
Pound is
Ampere
pound.
system. No,
Pound is pound.
two different types
You
of
didn't say
measures.
that. You didn't say the old two different weights.
I said which one weighs more.
Yeah.
Gold is weighed by the Troy system. Feathers are weighed by the
It
average.
can also be hacked down to a pound. So a pound's a pound.
Loser.
I'm correct. As always.
Now, if I asked you a pound of bricks or a pound of feathers, then you'd be right. But I hadn't asked you that.
All right, things we need to know so we don't sound stupid today. Amazon has opened one of their cashier-less stores in Chicago. How's that? $15 an hour working out. Prince Harry and Princess Meghan Markle will be touring Australia, Fiji, the Kingdom of Tonga, and New Zealand next month when Camilla throws her huge 70th birthday party for her husband, Prince Charles.
It's so exciting.
Your snooty info for today.
Woohoo.
A report says that in some areas, mobile home values are rising as fast as traditional homes. And a 39-year-old Kourtney Kardashian appears to be dating a 20-year-old these days. More power to her. All right, John Zuma will be here next hour along with Matt, and I'll be back with you tomorrow. I'm taking my dog to the vet.
Good Wednesday morning. Plenty of sunshine in today's forecast. Expecting high temperatures to stay above normal with highs in the mid to upper 80s to even 90 degrees towards the Sandhills and the coastal plains. But temperatures will still be warm, but humidity finally starts to dip just a touch today and tomorrow. Tonight, low temperatures dip into a comfortable mid-60s, and by tomorrow, high temperatures recover back into the upper 80s. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 PM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Wally Hines in Washington. Brett Kavanaugh's accuser says that she will testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee only after the FBI investigates.
Democrats are also pushing for the FBI to investigate by reopening its background check of Kavanaugh, saying that's the only way to avoid a he said, she said type hearing when both the judge and Ford testify. President Trump, though, says the FBI has no interest in looking at the allegation. If the Bureau does reopen the background check, Kavanaugh's confirmation is unlikely to happen before the November elections.
Sagar Maghani reporting. North Korea's leader has agreed to dismantle a main nuclear site if the U.S. takes similar steps. Correspondent Mike Gracia has more.
After a second day of talks in North Korea's capital, South Korean President Moon Jae-in announced he and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un have made a major step toward peace. The two leaders announced in a joint statement that Kim has promised to permanently dismantle the North's main nuclear complex if there are corresponding measures from the United States. The North is also willing to allow international inspectors to monitor the closing of a key missile test site and launch pad. The two Koreas also plan to jointly bid for the 2032 Summer Olympics. I'm Mike Gracia.
Rising floodwaters on the Cape Fear River have forced city officials in Fayetteville, North Carolina, to close the Person Street Bridge, and Mayor Mitch Colvin says sightseers should stay away.
We're hopeful that the people who we asked to evacuate have taken cover on higher ground. We've never had it at those levels before, so we really don't know what the impact will be. We're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best.
President Trump will travel to North Carolina this morning to personally survey damage. The woman who helped kidnap Elizabeth Smart back in 2002 and stood by as she was sexually assaulted is expected to be released from prison today. Smart says she believes that Wanda Barcy remains a danger. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Hit Podcast, Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Those on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
The Senate has passed and sent to the House the second of 3 spending bills that includes money for Head Start and to fight opioid addiction, as well as a big raise for our troops.
The Defense Department gets $675 billion, and military pay will go up by 2.6%. The president's border wall is not included in the spending package, which now heads to the House. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
That measure also keeps the government running past the end of the month. Hundreds of McDonald's workers in cities across the country staged a multi-state walkout yesterday. They're protesting what they say is sexual harassment.
The public does not know what we go through behind the counters, the cash registers, even in the bathrooms, in the janitor's closets. But today, the world will find out more.
McDonald's has issued a statement saying that it already has strong policies in place to prevent harassment. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Wally Hearns. A U.S. appeals court is siding with bartenders and waiters in a fight over whether restaurants can pay them less because they receive tips.
Under federal law, an employer can pay workers who receive tips as little as $2.13 an hour, as long as their tips bring their earnings to minimum wage. But the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that employers cannot use that tip credit when the workers are engaged in tasks unrelated to bartending or serving, such as cleaning toilets. The ruling revived a lawsuit by 14 bartenders and servers accusing restaurant chains including P.F. Chang's China Bistro and J. Alexander's of failing to pay minimum wage. Keith Peters reporting.
More problems for Tesla and founder Elon Musk. The company now facing a possible criminal investigation over Musk's proposal to take the company private. Tesla says it's cooperating and has turned over documents to the Justice Department. Word of the possible probe pushed Tesla's stock down nearly 3.5% yesterday. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Next to your home, your vehicle is one of the largest investments you'll make. Hey, it's Anthony from Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop. People tell us all the time, I have a vehicle at home that I only wash by hand and I don't need to have it detailed all the time. Well, did you know that Champion hand washes vehicles too? Give us a call at 692-5060 to find a time to get your vehicle properly hand washed using the 3-bucket method to ensure your vehicle's cleaned as gently as possible. That's Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop near the corner of Morganton and Broad in Southern Pines.
Nights, weekend, and holidays. You know plumbing problems never seem to take time off. And always, they seem to crop up at the worst possible times. And unfortunately, they can't wait hours on the end for a solution. The Plumbing Night to the rescue. The Plumbing Night, of course, doesn't take time off either, because service is the lifeblood of their organization. Make the Plumbing Night your plumbing service partner and protector. Hopefully, it won't be an emergency when you call, but they're prepared to help if it is. And they won't take an arm and a leg just because it happened at an inconvenient time. Now that's a Plumbing Night in shining armor, if you ask me. Check them out on the web at theplumbingnight.com or call them 639-5555. That's an easy number. Write it down. 639-5555. Again, that's 639-5555, day or night.
Phew, it's not the heat, it's the humidity. And that same stifling humidity is in your home's crawl space. A dirt crawl space with open vents is a never-ending source of moisture, which circulates throughout your home. Dust mites, mold, pests, and wood rot all thrive on moisture. These are all good reasons to have a crawl space dehumidifier, not to mention comfort and energy efficiency. Contact Aberdeen Exterminating to learn more about the benefits of Sierra Global Dehumidifiers. Call 944-2474. That's 944-2474.
54, 23, 5. The Sandhills Community College CCP program has 54 college transfer courses, 23 career technical certificate and diploma pathways, and 5 continuing education pathways. These courses and pathways allow high school juniors and seniors to take college classes for free while in high school. Even better, if they pass 4 CCP classes, they qualify for 2 years totally free at Sandhills. Of course, there is fine print, but no time to tell you everything now. Each high school has a CCP counselor. Contact them for all the details or call Sandhills.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. Governor Roy Cooper flew over areas hit hardest by Florence and met with storm victims on Tuesday. He boarded a helicopter with the National Guard to see the damage Florence left behind. The governor stopped at a shelter and emergency operations center in Wilmington. He thanked emergency managers and crews who have rescued the many people trapped by rising floodwater.
Talking to people, they're telling me how they got rescued, how grateful they were. You guys hang in there. I know it's no fun.
New Hanover County Commissioner Woody White says,
since September 12, 11 people have been arrested, 7 for looting, 2 for curfew ordinance violations, and 2 for breaking into vehicles. Our curfew is still in effect from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. until further notice, countywide.
The rain has stopped, but the worrying is not in North and South Carolina as flooding remains a major concern as it takes time for rivers to recede and roads to reopen. FEMA Administrator Brock Long is in North Carolina surveying the damage.
We know we got to get the roads back open to fully get the power back on so that power crews and private industry can get back in to get the power on. We get the power on, we solve, 95% of the infrastructure problems that we see.
Flooding has prompted the State Department of Transportation to close bridges across the Cape Fear River in downtown Fayetteville as floodwaters have reached the street. Mayor Mitch Colvin talks about the dangers of the flooding in his town.
We've never had it at those levels before, so we really don't know what the impact will be. We're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best.
Cumberland County Assistant County Manager Sally Schott says this is historic flooding.
We have had 134 people rescued, and also 10 dogs, 2 cats, and 1 horse had been assisted from the flooding.
You're listening to NCN News.
Hey. Yeah? What's up? Have you seen that new Crime Victims Amendment that's going to be on the ballot in November? Oh, yeah. I heard that it's going to guarantee victims of crime equal rights in our state constitution. I mean, who would oppose giving crime victims equal rights? I know. I think it's crazy that in North Carolina, criminals are more protected than the people they've hurt. Yeah, I was shocked too. But this will fix that by giving crime victims the right to be present at the trial, to be treated with respect and dignity, the right to safety and privacy, and to be notified of a criminal's escape or release. Anyone can be a victim of crime. Our family, our friends. Voting to protect them seems like a no-brainer.
Crime victims in North Carolina deserve equal rights. This November, vote yes for the Crime Victims Amendment on your ballot. Paid for by Marcy's Law for North Carolina, LLC.
Authorities confirmed 2 detainees drowned when a van was swept away in rising floodwaters in South Carolina. Horry County Sheriff's Department spokeswoman Brooke Holden says a sheriff's office van was carrying 2 detainees and 2 deputies from Conway to Darlington on Tuesday night when it was overtaken by floodwaters. The North Carolina football team launched a donation drive Tuesday to collect necessities for people in areas of the state affected by Florence. Head coach Larry Fedora, athletic director Bubba Cunningham, and Tar Heel players donated supplies and helped load a truck that will be driven to eastern North Carolina later this week.
When you have tragedy, I mean, it brings people together, and so it doesn't matter what you have going on in your life, you want to help other people. We have a football game to prepare for, but that's really not a whole lot when you think about what some of these people are going through. You go to the Friday Center and you see all of the people there that are being sheltered and know that there's some tragedy going on in their life right now, and you want to help out in any way you can.
Christine Blasey Ford, a Stanford University professor who accused Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault while they were both high school students, wants her allegations to be investigated by the FBI before she appears before a congressional committee on Monday. Kavanaugh has called the allegations completely false. CBS News correspondent Laura Podesta says,
the woman accusing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault wants the FBI to investigate her claims before she testifies on Capitol Hill. The Senate Judiciary Committee has invited both of them to speak separately on Monday.
A video captured by a Virginia woman filming a North Carolina shipwreck shows a sand tiger shark creeping up behind her only to turn tail when spotted. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Sunshine and dry weather finally makes a comeback to central North Carolina. Good Wednesday morning. You'll need your sunglasses today and tomorrow. High temperatures should climb into the mid to upper 80s to even 90 degrees towards the Sandhills. We'll see lower humidity finally starting to make its way back into central North Carolina. Low temperatures tonight in the mid-60s, mostly sunny skies, and dry conditions continue tomorrow with highs in the mid to upper 80s. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The Yankees short-circuited Boston's celebration by beating the Red Sox 3-2. Neil Walker hit a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 7th to seal it. The Mariners blanked the Astros 7-0, and Houston's lead in the AL West now over Oakland at 5 games despite the loss. That following the A's 9-7 loss to the Angels. Chris Taylor's walk-off solo homer in the 10th inning gave the Dodgers a 3-2 win over the Rockies and a 1.5-game lead over Colorado atop the NL West. The Cubs thumped the D-backs 9-1. Chicago's NL Central lead now at 3.5 games over Milwaukee after the Brewers lost to Cincinnati 3-1. St. Louis, meanwhile, they hold on to the second NL wild card after a 9-1 pounding of the Braves in Atlanta. The result leaves the Braves with the magic number of 7 over Philadelphia to take the NL East. The NHL Carolina Hurricanes opened their exhibition portion of their schedule last night with a 4-1 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning at Amalie Arena. Rod Brindamore spoke to the media following his first night on the bench as an NHL head coach.
It was great, actually. I mean, obviously, the guys played really hard. I was the key, competitive, great start to finish. I mean, it felt like we didn't really have a lull, which I was kind of expecting to have, and I thought everyone contributed.
The Hurricanes and Lightning playing the second half of a back-to-back home-and-home series tonight at PNC Arena. Puck drops at 7. Michael Jordan has donated $2 million to assist residents affected by Hurricane Florence. The Charlotte Hornets owner contributed $1 million each to the American Red Cross and the Foundation for the Carolinas Hurricane Florence Response Fund. Jordan played his high school ball in Wilmington. He told the Associated Press he wanted to do something quickly because the destruction that hit home with him. NC State is joining the efforts that Duke and North Carolina started on Tuesday by collecting donated items for the areas affected by the hurricane. The Wolfpack will collect needed items prior to their September 29th home game against Virginia at Carter Finley Stadium. This is NCN Sports.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
The North Carolina football team launched a donation drive Tuesday to collect needed items for people in areas of North Carolina affected by Hurricane Florence. Head coach Larry Fedora, athletic director Bubba Cunningham, and a number of Tar Heels players donated relief supplies to help fill the Carolina football truck that later this week will be driven to eastern North Carolina.
When you have tragedy, I mean, it brings people together, and so it doesn't matter what you have going on in your life, you want to help other people. We have a football game to prepare for, but that's really not a whole lot when you think about what some of these people are going through. There's some tragedy going on in their life right now, and you want to help out in any way you can.
UNC will collect donations in the parking lot near the Smith Center in Chapel Hill through Friday afternoon. Josh and Zach, NCN Sports.
Boy, I say boy, Foghorn and Leghorn here. Y'all know that I am not only a chicken, I am an authority on chicken. There's another chicken expert here in this town, Lowe's Foods. I don't know about you, son, but I'm very particular about my chicken salad. I say about my chicken salad, and I haven't found anything that touches Lowe's chicken grape salad yet. And judging by how much they sell, I have a lot of company on the hunt for the best fried chicken, and I say the best fried chicken in town. Bingo, Lowe's again. Don't take my word for it, son. Check out the Lowe's fried chicken yourself. And something else, I don't know about you, I'll say I don't know about you, but I like shopping at places where people seem to like what they do. Lowe's, I say Lowe's Grocery is just that kind of place. Lowe's has a great product selection, true, but the people make the difference, boy. Give them a try and tell them Foghorn Leg. I say tell them Foghorn Leghorn sent you.
That's all, folks.
You found it, your dream home. The perfect square footage on a quiet street. The midtown condo with the amazing roof deck. The country house on some acreage. Or maybe it's a little bungalow on the beach. Whatever your dream looks like, First Bank offers personalized loan programs. Great rates and exceptional service every time for everyone. Dreams happen at First Bank. Learn more by visiting a local branch or go to localfirstbank.com/mortgage.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. It's hot, and you think, I'm turning the AC down a few degrees. Then you think, how much is that gonna cost? Then the internal struggle begins. Cost versus comfort, but now you can end that fight. Mitsubishi Electric Cooling and Heating Systems offer efficient individual room control with allergen filtration, no ductwork, and dramatic energy savings. Mitsubishi Electric Cooling and Heating. Live better. Call Four Seasons Heating and Air, the company that wants you to get comfortable with them. 235-0606.
My mom's home is 9 rooms and 56 years of memories. Everything that's important to her happened under this roof. She's slowed down a little and needs help. Nothing too difficult, just a hand with everyday chores. Someone to look after her when I can't. My mom loves her home. There's no place she'd rather be.
If your mom wants to stay in her home, call me, Bob Bonville at Griswold Home Care of Pinehurst, 910-420-2360. That's 910-420-2360. We've been keeping the heart at home since 1982.
It's 1946, and Pinehurst Surgical is just getting started doing orthopedic surgery in the Sandhills area. Pinehurst Surgical was ahead of its time then and still is, leading the way with innovative orthopedic services at the Sports, Spine, and Joint Center. But it's not about Pinehurst Surgical. It's about you and the care you receive. Go to pinehurstsurgical.com/orthopedics or call 910-295-0259. 910-295-0259.
The redesigned 2018 Chevy Equinox delivers fuel economy without sacrificing interior space and offers plenty of advanced safety features like rear view camera, team driving reporting, top-down parking camera, and lane departure warning, along with touchscreen display, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. You won't find a better all-round great compact SUV. Great leasing, cash allowance, or financing is available right now on the 2018 Equinox. Experience the Clark Chevrolet Cadillac difference on Dundee Road in Pinehurst.
Another season is just around the corner at the historic Temple Theater in Sanford. I'm Peggy Taphorn, producing artistic director. We are celebrating our storied past in this, our 34th season. And now is your time to get your tickets for a season full of laughs, music, and history. The Temple kicks off the season with 1776, celebrating the birth of America, followed by Ghost the Musical, a heartfelt story about living life to the fullest. It's a Wonderful Life, the radio play, brings your favorite holiday story to life in our intimate setting. There will be more laughs and music all season long, including Church Basement Ladies 2, A Second Helping, Boeing Boeing, Mark Twain's Big River, and wrapping up next spring with Grease the Musical. The Temple Theater offers the most flexible season ticket packages around. Get 4 tickets to use in any combination you want for just $96, or choose 7 tickets in any combination you want for just $154. Season tickets are only available until September 30th, so call now at 919-774-4155 or visit Temple Shows online.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. I know a lot of folks are going to be upset with me, but I'm not real sure that making a high school kid take a foreign language is such a good idea. A whole lot of you took Spanish. All of you passed. Most of you made an A or a B. So how much Spanish do you speak? Do you go into a Mexican restaurant and just chat and laugh with your server using your high school Spanish? No, you don't. I took French. Sorry, Susan. My French teacher started off the first day by immersing us in French. Within the first 10 minutes, she said, "Okay, to help you learn, from this moment on, we'll speak only French." And then she started, blah, 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 blah. Well, she might as well have been speaking French. Then she took the roll call. People were answering when she called their name, until she got to Jean. She said it 3 times. Everyone looked at me. I was like, well, don't look at me, I don't know him. But apparently he's not all that bright. Now, I'm not advocating for doing away with language studies, but honestly, when you have a kid who's struggling just to pass, it seems like we should at least consider. However, there's nothing we should consider these days. Any suggestion of change will make someone furious. I honestly do not know how we're ever going to open up our kids' minds with our current education system if we never open up our own minds. I hope everyone has a good day. From the Zumwalt Zone.
Good Wednesday morning. Plenty of sunshine in today's forecast. Expecting high temperatures to stay above normal with highs in the mid to upper 80s to even 90 degrees towards the Sandhills and the coastal plains. But temperatures will still be warm, but humidity finally starts to dip just a touch today and tomorrow. Tonight, low temperatures dip into a comfortable mid-60s, and by tomorrow, high temperatures recover back into the upper 80s. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center. weather.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Disappointed. The Leader Man is not here today. He's tied up with Nick, his dog, who he loves dearly. Steve is a man who practices what he preaches. He does everything he can possibly do for his animals, and I hope if you have a second, you'll offer up a prayer for Steve and his dog, Nick. But he didn't leave me alone today.
Well, we got a couple of us here hanging out with you. I'm Matt Horsley, and we've also got over here Mike Off. Turn it on, baby. Turn it on.
If I must.
Who are you?
I'm Dorothy. Everybody knows who I am. I'm the only girl voice on this radio station.
That's right. If you listen to Bill Sahadi's show, then you've heard Dorothy, and lots and lots of commercials.
Yeah, lots of commercials.
I don't think we can start off without talking about the hurricane a little bit. I was one of those who was blessed. I didn't lose power.
Neither did I.
I didn't get flooded.
Well, I did get some water in my basement, but it wasn't bad.
You know, there are a lot of people hurting. I'm a little uncomfortable when I hear someone say, well, God answered my prayers, because I was praying. But, you know, a lot of people were praying, and they lost power, and they got flooded, and some lost their houses. So that's a very risky thing to go down, and this is not the time for it. I sometimes worry that people will lose their faith when we say silly things like that. People are suffering right now. They're flooded, they've lost their homes, and they've got no power. What are they going to do?
Well, I'll tell you, and I'm just going to read this that a friend sent to me about a mutual friend. Her house flooded. They lived down in New Bern. Her house flooded, roof collapsed, sewage backed up in the house. They've lost nearly everything, including clothing, as everything is molding. She says it's hot and miserable. To top it off, where she works downtown also has extensive damage and is closed indefinitely, leaving her without income.
Terrible. It's awful. And I hope that none of us forget, because the sun's out and we've got it made now, that there are people who truly are suffering. You know, one thing I do want to mention is that the way Moore County comes together. And two good examples from this radio station are when Mr. Moss, the 92-year-old World War II veteran, was having trouble. And we talked about it on WEEB. Steve let us talk about it. And my gosh, I've never seen such an outpouring ever in my life. And then don't forget, Rusty Disney came on asking for help for the homeless in the wintertime. And the outpouring was amazing. So we cannot forget to talk about our first responders and our volunteers and the power people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned it yesterday, the Special Forces soldier just driving around the neighborhood looking for people to help because he had a big chainsaw.
Yeah.
Didn't want any money, just out there because he didn't have to be at work. Bragg was closed to non-essentials, and so he was just out helping people. And a lot of us get out and do it. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, and it's the way things should be. Absolutely.
Yep. I think folks would be surprised if they knew how many people were doing things just because it's the right thing to do. All right. I know that people want to break from politics. I do. I know that when you tune into the Emmys or the Oscars or the music awards, you get sick and tired of hearing some star talk about how ate up America is, or how much they love someone or hate someone.
Running down Christians.
Running down Christians.
White people. Yeah.
That's why I don't watch TV anymore.
Yeah, I don't either.
Well, then how do you know about it?
I come here.
Okay.
And I listen to Steve. And I listen to Steve and Matt talk about it in the morning.
But there's a but there. I do want to say something about politics. We have an election coming up. And it's very important that you vote, but it's important that you vote for the right person. And you have to figure that out yourself. You can't listen to me or Matt or Steve or even Dorothy. You've got to do your own research and really, truly find out. Go to their website and read everything you can read about them. One more thing, and then we'll lighten it up a little bit. The amendments that are going to be on our ballot.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an opinion, and then you can make your own decision. It's my opinion that if our legislature wants to change things, they have the ability to make laws. And I think that's what they should do. Any amendment, in my opinion, should be grassroots-based or to be something that's so important that no one would want to live in this state without it. Things like giving women the vote, making sure that black people can indeed truly be free, making sure that we have the freedom of speech and the right to bear arms. I don't believe that we should have things on there just because the legislature chose to put them on there when they have the ability to make laws. And you guys want to comment on that before we move on?
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with you. To an extent, I do. I certainly do. And there's some things that that need to be legislated. But, for example, the voter ID thing, they made laws. And the courts kept striking them down, which is just asinine and improper. So what do? Well, if you're going to say it's unconstitutional, then you have to change the Constitution, and that's one of them.
Okay. All right.
See, I don't talk religion and politics, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Okay. It's safer that way.
Well, good. Then you'll be able to talk.
God bless you.
You'll be able to talk the rest of the time.
I'll try.
All right. I know you guys like to do questions and trivia on here, so I've kind of got my own. And I like this one a lot.
Okay.
In 1964, one particular group had the #1 song in America, and the #2, and the #3, and the #4, and the #5, all at once. They had the top 5 songs in America. You probably know the group.
The Beatles.
Yes. Can you name any of the songs?
That's a little before my time frame, so no, I can't. I could name the Beatles songs, but I couldn't tell you what the top 5 were.
You probably can.
One of them was Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Well, I don't know how you knew that. Wrong.
The only Beatles song that's coming to my mind right now is Yellow Submarine.
No, are you serious? Did you know that already? No, it's wrong.
No, I figured it was, but that's the only one I can think of.
I'm going to tell you. Can't Buy Me Love, Twist and Shout, She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and Please Please Me. All right. Now
you are absolutely right on all of those.
Here's the next question. What was number 6? And that'll tell you why those were top 5. What was number 6?
Oh, that's a good question.
Anybody
Beatles
else?
have had some sucky songs.
Yeah.
Number 6 was not a Beatles song.
Well, obviously.
Oh.
If they only got the top 5, you've been talking about the top 6. And,
I'm too smart.
It was Hello, Dolly.
Oh, wow.
That'll kind of give you an idea why they were the top 5.
But that's a fun song.
Well, you know who sang that?
I don't.
A lot of people. But Louis Armstrong was a great Louis Armstrong. And just a little piece of trivia. Lyndon Johnson took that on as his theme, only he called it Hello, Lyndon. All right. Only 2 other people have ever had 3 songs in the top 5 before. Now, if you guys get this, it's pretty good because
my first guess would be Michael Jackson would have.
I would have thought that too, but no, that's not right.
No?
Elvis Presley.
Yeah, that was my
Well, you're close. 50 Cent and Justin Bieber.
50 Cent.
50.
Yeah.
See, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't. Okay.
You're showing your age there, John.
Oh, listen. I show my age looking at me, so it doesn't matter.
Well, this is radio. Not many people can look at you. And I don't even think we can see you on YouTube at the moment, so it's okay.
Speaking of radio, I'm not a radio, I'm not a professional like you guys and like Steve, but wait till you hear this segue.
Uh-oh.
Matt, neither you or I may have a job tomorrow on this station because of it depends on how it goes today. You ready? Now, if we shouldn't, we may have to look for another, well, I'm not a radio guy, but you are. You may have to look for another job. And you may too, Dorothy.
Oh, yeah.
So I looked up the top 5 questions that are asked on a job interview.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take you, I want to act like I'm interviewing you for a job.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you the exact question. And we'll start with Steve, then we'll go to Dorothy. The top questions answered. Now answer this just like you would. Don't try to be funny. answer it just like you would if you were on an actual job interview.
Yep.
Okay.
Matt, thank you for coming in today to interview. What is your biggest weakness?
Biggest weakness is is trying to get things done too perfectly, and I don't mean that in a
okay, that's a bunch of bull, because that's not a weakness.
I
go to Dorothy.
I don't mean it as in I care too much. I mean as in I spend too much time on details, and I don't get to the bigger.
Oh yeah, that's a huge weakness for an employer. A guy who does things too well.
No, he doesn't get things done because he's too busy nitnoiding over little things.
Okay, Dorothy.
Talking live on the radio.
What is your biggest strength?
My biggest strength?
Yes.
I would say to be able to creatively think outside the box to get things done that need to get done, however it needs to get done.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, Matt, back to, we only got two more. Matt, you were a lieutenant colonel in the Army, right?
Right.
What is your leadership style?
For the most part, cooperative. I like people to know what we're doing, explain to them what we're doing, and get them on board with the project.
Okay, I'm going to give this next one to both of you. We'll start with Dorothy.
Uh-oh.
It says the number 4 question asked by an employer is, what questions do you have for me?
I hate that. How am I supposed to come up with a question when I'm really not sure what I'm supposed to be asking?
Okay, you're hired. You're definitely hired. Matt?
My question is, what more can I learn from here? I guess would be my question.
Another throwaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your method of communicating improvement or problems that you see in an employee? How will you communicate to me something you don't like or that you want me to change or improve?
Well, the keys will be changed, and you won't be able to get in the next.
Could be.
All right. I've got a list here of facts that people should know.
Yeah.
But they probably don't. I don't want you to be honest. This is not, is this true or is this not true? This is true.
Okay.
Did you know this? That if you put the lid down, and these are not supposed to be funny, these are real facts.
Okay.
If you put the lid down in a porta potty, the smell will vent out the tube in the top and not into the john itself.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why they always smell so fresh and nice in June and July when the lid's down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, but it doesn't work, I don't think.
No, sometimes you just can't contain the smell, but it makes sense.
When you can smell them from 3 feet away.
Yeah, then you're in trouble. You need to find somewhere else.
Here's one. I know both of you knew this. A lot of people may not. In the book Frankenstein, Frankenstein was the doctor.
Right.
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 It was not the monster.
A lot of people think Frankenstein is the monster.
But if you think about it, in a lot of places they refer to the monster as Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
But it's been, I think, misconstrued to be Frankenstein, first name, monster, last name.
The way I knew it was because I know it's kind of hard to get into medical school.
When you did.
And I couldn't see Frankenstein sitting in class as the monster, so
Yeah.
I kind of figured the doctor. Okay.
Yeah.
I suspect most people know that the doctor was Frankenstein, or depending on the movie, Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But I was going to follow it up with another line from the movie, but I better not. And yet we still call, oh, look, there's Frank. He was dressed up as Frankenstein.
Or it could be Frankenfurter.
Well, Frankenfurter. Which movie was that?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, I could never get into that.
That's a stupid movie, but it's funny.
How many times have you seen it?
I try and watch it just about every other Halloween.
Yeah,
I've seen it a gazillion times.
Most people who've seen it love it. I've never seen it.
It's one of those, it was supposed to be scary. It's not scary. It's stupid funny.
Was it supposed to be scary? It was a musical.
Yeah, but I think when it was first came out, it bombed so bad as being a scary movie. I believe it kind of turned into a cult favorite, and that's hence why we do all the audience interaction with it. It's a fun, stupid movie, and I'd love to go see it in a theater, but I don't know of many theaters that would let people in to go see it.
Well, they do it down. Matter of fact, they just did it recently down here in Southern Pines.
And people dress up. They do all the dress up.
See, there's audience participation, I guess is the word, but so many, it may not. I wanted to be able to do it with all the audience participation because some of the things you do is like when they're walking in the rain, you got water pistols and you shoot up and you've got the newspaper on your head, and when Dr. Scott comes in, you throw toilet paper. I mean, you can literally destroy a
And you don't
theater.
like to talk about politics.
No, but I'll talk about the crazy stuff all day long.
Yeah, I've never been to one of those showings. I've only just seen it on TV, and I've never been able to watch it all the way through.
Here's a question for you.
You got plenty of them.
Goldfish bowls are a bad place to keep what?
Goldfish.
That's right. Dorothy got it right.
But particularly other kind of fish, too.
The only thing that does well in a goldfish bowl that I've ever found is a betta fish.
Well, y'all are just too smart. Here's a tough one. And before you answer this, Matt, give Dorothy a chance to answer. And I want people at home to think about this, or wherever you may be. The average lifespan of a Major League Baseball is how long? What do you think, Dorothy?
I haven't the foggiest notion.
Of a Major League Baseball?
Yes.
Maybe
3 games.
Maybe half an inning.
7 pitches.
Really?
So, well, you figure if it gets scuffed up at all, then it's no good anymore.
I know nothing about baseball, so.
All right. Since I asked you a question, let me ask you another one.
We need to come up with some questions to ask him. Come on.
No. Well, you can do that.
If I had known this was going to be a quiz show, I'd have come up with some questions.
But this is a Zoom Vault zone. I get to ask the questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm the one in charge of the mics.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, now she's sounding like Steve.
I tell you, power goes your head quick around here. All right.
What you got?
In Portugal, dueling is legal. That's a fact. But both parties must be registered as what?
Hopefully Marxists.
I would say, what are the guys who do the fencing? I don't know what, I can't think of the word.
I don't know. Is it pugilist?
No, I don't know.
Not pugilist.
Well,
That's a boxer.
They both must be, and this is a fact, registered blood donors.
Well, that makes maybe a little sense. You're gonna duel and poke somebody. You may as well collect their blood.
But it could be a duel. Could be by pistol.
Yeah, you still, you shoot somebody with a pistol, there's going to be blood.
I don't get that. There may be
I don't get it either, but it's...
there's got to be some sort of logic behind it. I don't know, maybe they're screening you for diseases or something, so if you get shot and die, then they know.
And that's something I've learned, and John, you probably have too, that that's why it's so difficult. When we talk about cultural differences, for example, you go to an Arab country, if you put your foot up on your knee so that the bottom of your foot is facing an Arab, that's offensive. Okay, that's a little cultural thing that you can learn, but culture goes so deep, it gets into the thinking, and there may be no good reason that we can come up with in our culture for why a duelist would have to be a registered blood donor. And the only reason I bring it up is because when we are talking about foreign nations, it is very easy to be egocentric and judge them based on our perception and how we do things. You really do have to understand the other culture deeply.
Yeah.
And you can attest, Special Forces, that's one of their jobs, is to understand the culture they're going into.
Well, you're right. It's important. And when you said that if you let Arabs in certain countries see the bottom of your foot, and they've not been around Westerns, it's beyond offensive. I don't know that we have anything that compares to that except maybe our middle finger. It's very, very offensive to them. But, you talk about cultures. Wearing your baseball cap backwards, to me, as an old guy, that's ridiculous. But you know what? I've gotten used to it, seeing young guys with a baseball cap on backwards. But when I see a guy 40 years old driving a minivan with a baby seat in the back, wearing his cap backwards, come on, that's a little silly.
That's a nice visual.
But that's why I used to wear a cowboy hat, even though I wasn't a cowboy, because you don't wear it backwards unless you're just not too bright. But okay, Steve likes to do things on his show and on this radio station. He gives a lot. He allows people to do public service announcements and different things. So I have one. And this is very important. This could save your life someday.
Okay.
Did you know that crocodiles and alligators are surprisingly fast on land? Now wait a minute. They can run pretty fast. But they're rapid, but they're not agile. So if you ever find yourself chased by an alligator or a crocodile, you ready?
You run zigzag.
Zigzag. Yep. Dorothy, you knew this.
Yes.
That might explain why you're still here. You'll lose him or her every time.
Yep.
Now, if this doesn't work, I'm sorry. but it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that, Matt?
Yeah.
I also heard that
Run sideways is like a rip current.
If it's easier to hold their mouth closed than open it back up.
Yeah.
Like after they've, if they're trying to bite you, if you can get on top of them before they bite you, they don't have the upward strength to open their mouth if you're pressing down on it. That's why if you ever see them catch crocodiles, they kind of rubber band or tie their mouth shut because they don't have the strength to open it back up. But if they get it open and around you, you're just hosed.
If you ever see me on top of an alligator trying to hold his mouth shut,
I'll
shoot
get my camera.
me.
I'll just get my camera.
My plan is just to flip it over and rub its belly.
That's a good plan. You'll definitely be on the news. All right. I made a crack about prayer a while ago. It wasn't a crack. It was a very heartfelt thing that I said. So I want to tell a story, a true story, a quick story about prayer.
You got time.
When I was one of the schools that I was in, and I don't remember which one, but we had to do a 12-mile ruck march in a certain amount of time. And they released us at like a group at 10-minute intervals, and then the next group would go. And it was about 2 in the morning, and we were on a trail out in the woods, out in the middle of nowhere. And I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but I was losing it. I had no energy because I was hungry. And whatever it is that I needed, I was depleted, totally depleted because of what we've been doing. So in the middle of about 2 a.m., I said the most ridiculous prayer you could ever utter. I said, "Dear Lord, I know this is ridiculous." I actually said those words, but I don't think I'm going to make it, and I really want to do this. Is there any way I can get some food? And so about 15 minutes later, I was kind of jogging, and I caught up to a guy, and he said to me, "I don't think I'm going to make it." He said, "I've got some lemon drops in my rucksack. I'm going to unload stuff. Do you want them?" And I was like, "Oh, why didn't I ask for a cheeseburger and a milkshake?" But a lot of you may think, well, that's just a coincidence. How many times do you think at 2 in the morning you could be running down a trail and a guy would offer you some lemon drops? I don't think that could ever happen. So yeah, I definitely believe in the power of prayer. I just don't think that we should feel good about ourselves because we didn't get just devastated by a hurricane and someone else did. So that was my point I was trying to make.
Well, we can certainly feel good that we didn't get devastated.
Oh yeah, yeah, and grateful to the Lord. If you are a Christian, you believe. I am so grateful, and I take nothing away. I call it fairy tale Christianity. When you think you can just ask for something, it'll happen. And I hope I made my point without offending people.
Some have referred to that as the cosmic vending machine. I heard one guy say, "Your faith does not sit on the throne of the universe. God sits on the throne of the universe."
Okay, I believe that. Back to trivial information. Not trivia, trivial information.
Okay.
Here's something my grandma knew. I don't know if for everyone out there, you don't know this. Dorothy just pressed a magic button and she sneezed. And that's not right, because if I have to sneeze, I can't press a button.
Well, you just give me a hand signal. I'll shut you off.
What's the hand signal? Dorothy! We can't do it. Anyway.
I got to sneeze, and I'll just hit the button.
Okay. I bet you don't.
I'd be nice and not sneeze on the microphone.
Well, yeah, and I didn't want to embarrass you. I just want people to. Well, I actually wanted to embarrass you, but
yeah,
okay.
That's okay.
I don't know if you know this or not, but Jiffy.
Totally effective, though. Would you hand me a cleaner?
I don't have any.
Jiffy
is an actual measure of time.
Yep.
Did y'all know that? It's a real measure of time.
I think it's become
a. Know that.
It's been used so much. I think it has become a measure of time.
Well, see, I think kind of just the opposite. It was a measure of time, and it's been used so much that it doesn't matter. Like, for example, Jiffy Lube. They may have to change their name after they hear this.
Oh.
How fast is a Jiffy? You know
I know there's a time frame with it, but I don't remember what it is.
Matt, you know a lot of stuff.
I didn't know it was a unit of measure.
That's why I say Jiffy Lube is very quick.
Yeah.
But an actual Jiffy is 1/100th of a second.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's
wow.
I remember hearing that or reading that somewhere.
Yeah.
There's something else that's like really strange, and I can't think of what it is. That's a measurement, like a pinch is an actual unit of measurement kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of things like that. Like I didn't know that the words idiot, moron, and imbecile were actually used a long time ago to talk about a person's IQ. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Yeah. So.
And now it's just politically incorrect.
Yeah. You don't say those things. You're not supposed to. Okay. Did you know this?
Bunch of morons telling us what we can and can't say.
Well, you just aspire to be a moron, imbecile.
This guy's an idiot.
Did you know it's physically impossible to lick your own elbow?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I've known that since childhood because it's impossible to lick your elbow, and in grade school you're just like, what a bet,
Oh, by the way, the people that are listening, we can see you. We can see you trying to lick your elbow right now.
Yeah, I know. It looks kind of funny.
And for that guy that just got out of the shower, please put on some clothes. Go ahead, Matt. What were you going to say?
I can reach my nose with my tongue, but I can't reach my elbow.
Yeah,
that's a good piece of trivial information we needed to know.
Thank me, as Levin would say. Thank me.
All right. Matt, you have a medical background, right?
Yeah.
Background.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that'll do you no good for this next one.
Okay.
Did you know that when possums are playing possum, they're not actually playing. They actually pass out from terror.
I don't doubt it. It's kind of like those goats that pass out.
Yeah.
Those things are funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe it.
But here's my question. How do we know that? How do we know that? How do we know the possum is actually passed out? He's not just playing possum.
I would think the only way to know that is to hook him up and
so they hook him up to some
vitals.
Hook him up to some electrodes or something and monitor what his heart and his brain are doing before and during and after he has his little possum episode.
Yeah.
I'm in way too smart of a group. Way too smart of a group. Because it would never occur to me, like, look at possum playing possum. I think I'll hook him up to some electrodes.
Yeah.
And see, well,
I'm sure there's some sort of scientific reason why they would do that to a poor possum, but we just will never know what it is.
We don't deserve to know what they use our tax money for. No, we have no right to know that.
Did you know that when you see an ostrich with its head in the ground, you're actually looking at a drawing? Because they don't really do that.
Yeah.
I think I knew that they didn't do that, but I can't be sure. Well, this is kind of like the possum thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that a snail can? Well, first of all, have you ever seen a snail?
Yes.
On the sidewalk?
Sure.
I see them all over my backyard all the time.
Did you know that a snail can sleep for 3 years?
No wonder there's so many living in my backyard. They take naps.
Know that.
Well, let me ask you this. The ones you saw, were they sleeping?
No, because they were actually moving.
You can detect a snail's movement?
Yeah.
That's good.
You sit there and stare at them long enough, and you can see the little slime trail. And some of them move with some haste, believe it or not.
Right along.
They'll move right along.
Well, that explains what you're doing when you're not watching politics. You're watching those snails.
I watch it. How do you think I get to sleep at night? I'm boring myself to death watching snails crawl across my backyard.
Okay. What about you, man? Did you know that?
Did I know that they sleep for 3 years? I did not.
I'm still not sure I'm buying that, but anyway.
I wonder if those are the little guys that I find they look like they're dead. Maybe they're not.
Yeah, they could be alive.
So
yeah, I found many a snail that looks like he's all curled up in his shell. So maybe he's up in there sleeping for 3 years.
Could be sleeping.
Now they do that after they eat poison too. So I guess the lesson is crush them all.
And right now, Steve's cell phone is blowing up, saying, "Don't ever let Zumwalt on there again." Ever.
Just said he could throw us all off.
Well,
here's one
Steve's
talking
gonna be by
about
himself.
snails and things kind of slowed down a bit.
That was a good one.
Oh, you're a comedian.
Matt often talks about being politically correct. I'm not sure this next one's politically correct, but I think we can get away with it. Do you know what you call a pregnant goldfish?
Fat? No, I don't.
No, Matt, you call it a twit.
Really?
A twit. Now, that feeds right into the next one of why you get away with calling it a twit. Because a goldfish has a memory span of 3 seconds.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I know. I don't know how they figured that out.
Well, haven't you watched that Mythbusters episode where they were trying to test the memory of goldfish?
Was there really one?
Yeah, there's a Mythbusters
and so
episode.
what did they find out?
It does have a little bit longer memory than they think, but I don't remember the actual outcome.
How did they figure that out?
They had 2 different fish, and they basically kind of put them in a maze or something like that. It was a long time ago I watched this. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube if you really wanted to.
You're trying to back out now.
No, I don't remember what their outcome was, but it was definitely longer because every day they did the same thing, and then they changed it and the fish would go to the same place, or something like that. It's like
train them to do something.
They train them to do something repetitively, and to see if they could do it day after day or after a certain period of time.
That's pretty good.
There was a whole MythBusters episode on it.
Well, that explains why they have dolphins jumping out of the water and not goldfish, because the goldfish keep forgetting after 3 seconds.
I've had goldfish jump out of water before.
You know what? You were just argumentative.
Yes, I am.
Did you know orcas?
You're supposed to say no, you're not. What?
Did you know orcas are not technically whales?
Yes.
I never even thought about it.
Wow. You want to know the purpose of my question?
Yeah. In fact, I was really hoping you would tell us.
They're actually porpoises.
Are they?
Yeah, they're a form of porpoise. And I didn't know that until recently, but once you look at them, you realize, oh, yeah, that's pretty obvious now that you tell me.
Well, the thing that gets me about orcas, killer whales, is that anyone would ever even think for a second they could jump in the water and train one of those things to jump out of the water with you standing on their nose. I can't even train my dog hardly to sit, and I'm going to jump in the water with a killer whale. I can't even imagine how you could do that. Go ahead and tell us, Dorothy.
I have no idea. A lot of patience and a lot of bravery.
A lot of fish.
I said a lot of fish.
So just feed them fish and do whatever you want them to do.
Yeah, animals work for fish.
Animals work for food.
Work for food. Yeah, not all animals work for fish. It doesn't work really well for, parakeets.
We don't have a lot of time, so I want to do another public service announcement. And this is pretty important.
Okay.
Nutmeg is extremely poisonous if injected intravenously. Now, people should know that.
Why on earth would anyone want to intravenously inject nutmeg?
I'm going to tell you why. Because everything you can think of, some hippie has tried, including licking a frog in the Amazon.
Yeah.
Anything at all you can think of, some hippie has tried it in the 60s to try to get high. So I guess they injected nutmeg. It didn't work out too well for them. So just in case you didn't know.
Where do people come up with these ideas?
I do not know.
What is in their water or in their air that makes them think, oh, let me go lick this frog? Or, I mean, nutmeg, I don't need it in my cookies. I'm just going to mainline it.
Well, they licked the frog, not even knowing for sure the frog could make them high. They're like, dude, I'm a wonderful frog. And then they licked it.
They just jumped to a conclusion.
That question has always baffled me as to what possessed somebody to go up and lick a frog.
I don't know.
Were they trying to kill themselves and accidentally found they could get high instead?
I don't even want to, I don't have anything against frogs, but I don't particularly like touching them, much less. I would never lick one. But
I wouldn't lick one either. I like frogs.
I have a PSA.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Monday, there's a representative from the NRA Institute for Legislative Action going to be speaking to Mortue citizens.
Okay.
And if you're looking for a place to do some donations for hurricane relief, the Sand Hills Repertoire Theater is doing a free concert at the O'Neill School on Sunday.
Oh, very good.
And they're collecting donations there, too. It's
very
at 2
good.
o'clock on Sunday.
It's our website?
sandhillsrep.org.
All right.
Everyone knows this. Sometimes we let our generosity overrun our good sense. By that I mean, you've got to be careful who you donate to. I know everyone agrees with that.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can give it directly to a person, that would be good, too, to help them. Because a lot of these organizations take a lot of money off the top and don't really give the money where they should.
And by the way, we've talked about this before, never, ever, ever hand money to those guys with the "will work for food" signs, dreaming of a cheeseburger, traveling, hungry, please help.
That's how I got here.
Those guys make a lot of tax-free money, and most of them are spending it on booze and drugs. So.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And never lick a frog unless you know for sure you can get high. Okay. Now, we have traffic laws in this nation.
We do?
But when do you hear this one?
Okay.
This is true. I didn't make this up. In Nebraska, in 1912, let me preface this by saying I cannot imagine what kind of an unbelievable, terrible accident they must have had. Dorothy just gave me the 1 minute sign near that, or she has to sneeze. Drivers in the county at night in Nebraska were required to stop every 150 yards, shoot up a flare, wait 8 minutes for the road to clear, and then proceed while blowing their horn. Now, that would make for a nice, quiet drive in the country. What kind of wreck must they have had? Okay.
Yeah, that's a little bizarre.
Okay, what is the shortest, this is the last one because Dorothy's telling me we got to shut up. What is the shortest possible sentence in the English language?
I. No.
Now, how's that a sentence?
No, I forget what it is. Oh, crud. I've heard this before.
Is that your answer, all that?
Or
No, I don't remember.
You ready?
Yeah.
it could be no, but I think it's I.
Go.
This is true. Go.
All right, Dorothy, how are we doing on time?
Well, we got a couple minutes. It's about to kick in, so you might as well wrap it up.
Okay, well, I'm not sure how you're supposed to wrap things up because I'm not a radio guy. But let me start by saying this. Let me just say this. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to sit in today. Best to Steve, and thank you for Dorothy and Matt. You made it very easy.
It was fun.
Matt?
You got a quote for us today, Matt? Are you still looking?
I do have a quote, and if my phone would work properly, I'd have it right here. But
that's what
here we go. If one person is, I'm going to skip that and just say we're going to be back tomorrow with Steve right here at 7 o'clock for Mornings with the Leader Man.
Come back, you'd better be laughing.
So, what have we learned? Heck, I don't know. But this is one crazy show. Bye now.
Cut! That's it. Go home, everybody. None of this ever happened. Well, y'all come back now, you hear?
I think we're through here.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much, man. That's pretty much all I got, man. Okay, class dismissed. Rock on!
Well, let me tell you something. Everything comes to an end.
97.3 FM and 990 AM. WEEB Southern Pines Pioneers Aberdeen. And on the web at talk973.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Wally Hines in Washington. President Trump is headed to North Carolina this morning where he'll be surveying storm damage.
The president arrives at Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point and from there will survey the impact of Florence, which has caused heavy flooding and widespread power outages. He's scheduled to spend several hours in the storm zone today. The president has been praising the recovery efforts, saying that first responders, law